Today we're going to be taking a look at the Build the Millennium Falcon series, issues 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So we're not going to look in the magazines today because I've got a ton of bits to show you. But something that has struck me since the last video, there's absolutely no way that this can't be a painted model. In the beginning I thought I might get away with just putting it all together and it would look fine, but it's not going to. It's going to take an absolute ton of work. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. Since the last video we've got some more metal frame pieces. I think it was this piece and this piece. And like the others, they're all screwed together with tiny little screws. And we've also had this piece which I think goes somewhere near the front, but we haven't had any screws or any bits to go with this just yet. Now this piece should look familiar, and like I said before, this definitely makes me think we need to paint this. I also discovered this bit's been put in wrong, so I had to cut away at it on the inside and managed to pop it out. When you get it, it's like that, but it should actually be like that. It seems like a small thing, but when you're going to build a model of this scale, you've got to at least get the details right, and I'm quite shocked that they managed to screw that bit up. I should point out, by the way, these aren't going to be instructional videos on how to build this thing. I'm following a couple of guys on YouTube who are absolutely fantastic model makers. If you want to see them, I'll put links in the description, and they're doing a phenomenal job. These bits you've seen before, these are going to have to be repainted. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to airbrush a base coat and a primer on all of these pieces, but I'm not going to weather it until I've got it all constructed. We've also had this other panel, which looks reasonably nice. And we got these two pieces that will go together to form the tube that runs to the cockpit. Not going to attach these together yet. This one has this rather unsightly blemish on the bottom of it. And then we've had some of the cockpit outer sections, and these you can actually fit together. They just go like that, and then we get this ring bit, and this will go over the top. I'm not going to be gluing anything until I'm happy with the paint, and I've got to do all the inside of the cockpit and everything first, and we haven't actually had any glass for this yet. I've also discovered these chairs are the wrong colour. They should be more of a beige colour, so we're going to have to do them from scratch. And these are completely wrong. Absolutely everything on this is completely wrong colours. You might remember the quad laser. Well, I've taken it apart again, and I've been through and tried to file down some of this, get rid of all the seam lines. I'm also planning to maybe drill some holes in the front of there. And obviously when it's all assembled, I'm going to have to paint this too. This is the back of the cockpit, and you've seen this before. This section also going to require some painting. Not a lot I can do with this bit, but as it's all black, then I'm just going to leave that, I think. We've also had this piece, which is 3 small bits attached by a sticker, and that bit will eventually go on there like that. These cockpit sections, I don't think you've seen the sides before, but they're just going to fit in there. And we've got the dashboard. This has got little holes in, and it turns out there's some little control sticks that go in there. I may have to peel that sticker off and paint it underneath, we shall see. But then that bit will go on there. And then we have a front section, and that's the bit you see through the front of the canopy. This is quite an exciting piece, although it did come in separate parts. This is the lighting panel that goes behind the cockpit. We get this battery box, and I think this is just to test these pieces. I don't see how that's going to be accessible when we build it, so there is another wire that plugs into there. And I think that it's all going to be interconnected, so one switch lights everything up. This does actually work though, if you want to see it. I did manage to blind myself the first time I put this on. The LEDs are insanely bright. And when we switch it on, that lights up all the little panels in the back wall. It was really nice that we didn't have to build this from scratch. It's just a simple little board that sticks on the back, and then you just plug that in. That was really nice, because I hate doing electronics. We've also had some interior pieces. This, I believe, is where the chess set goes. We've had this little section. There's a wall that seems to fit over here. There's this console bit that goes there. And we've also had another wall that looks like it'll probably go there somewhere. Then we've had this piece that seems to go into here at a funny angle. And this, I believe, is the bench. So that would sort of go like that. We have these sections. Now these come in a load of pieces. There's a main bit, and then there's little strips that go around. And that seems to sit in there. And then there's another one that goes upside down on top of that, and then there's this piece that goes on top of there, and that kind of forms like a bunk bed. And then we've had this, looks like the seat, so that seems to go on there, and then you get all these little pieces which sort of slot in. You do big one then little one. They're not going to stay until I glue them, but you get the idea. That's going to form the back panel of the seat. And we've also had this piece, which I believe goes around here, so this is quite big. Unfortunately, this grey plastic reminds me of Warhammer plastic, so this definitely, the whole thing is going to need a serious overhaul. And the rest of the stuff is all little bits on sprues. These, I'm not sure what these are for. They look like they might be some kind of cable clips or something. I don't know, they've got a bit of weathering on, so maybe they go on the outside. We have tons of these little bits that go on the outside shell. These are the control rods for the panel. These bits aren't mentioned in the instructions anywhere yet, so I'm not sure what they're for. And just to show you how all these little bits work, I think that one goes on there. But again, all these, you've got to glue them all on. So then you'd put a piece in there, and it just adds more detail to it. And then I think that one goes in there somewhere. So you've got little pipes that come off it. So I'm going to glue all these on first, I think, before I start painting it. So as you can see, 9 issues in, and there's a ton of work to do already. So hopefully next time I'll have some real progress to show you, and not just a big mess of pieces. But for now, that's your lot. This has been Luke. Thanks for watching.